Good morning, everyone. My name is Ruth Silumaas,
And this is Michelle Ilorica.
and we are the first reporter tackle about HTTP request response life cycle. Slide 1, Introduction to HTTP life cycle. The HTTP request response life cycle explains how communication happens between a web browser or the client and a web server. So whenever a user types a website URL and presses enter, several technical processes happen behind the scenes. So these processes ensure that the correct web page is located, requested, processed, and displayed properly. So like for example, when you type www.facebook.com sa imong browser, ang makita na ni client is like mo-load ra siya and then moadto na sa Facebook homepage. Pero behind that scene, ang server mo handle siya sa mga processes. So ma-explain na to ang processes in next slide. So in slide 2, dili na mag-start ang mga steps in HTTP request response lifecycle. So first step is the DNS resolution. The DNS or the domain name system converts a human readable domain name into an IP address. So like for example here in our PPT, the www.google.com nasa joy IP address nga 142.250. So on and so forth. So computers use IP addresses to locate other computers on the internet. So without DNS, users would need to memorize numeric IP addresses instead of domain names. So computers, we all know that computers don't understand names. They understand numbers, which is katong mga IP addresses. So para dili kanang hassle sa client or the end user, we need the DNS or the domain name system siya ang mag-translate sa domain name nimo, like for example katong Google, ija siya i-translate into an IP address. Mo na ang gamit sa DNS kay syempre hassle para sa atong users nga memorizean pa kada IP addresses para lang makaato ta sa website nga atong gusto atuan. So here in slide 3, we have the step 2, TCP three-way handshake. So before the data can be sent, a reliable connection must be established. TCP ensures reliable and ordered data transmission. So natay three-way handshake processes. First is the SYN or the synchronize. It is the client sends request to connect. The second process is the synchronized acknowledgement or the SYN-ACK. The server acknowledges the request. And then the third process is the ACK or the acknowledgement. Here, client confirms and connection is established. So, think of it nga nakay katawag. Like, for example, nakay katawag, ay ato na lang i-kuan sa example na nakatawag. So, ang synchronized dito is nag-phone call ka. So, matoy synchronize. Client send request to connect. And then, ang synchronized acknowledgement is gitubag ni katawag ni mo. Like, for example, may ang imong katawag mo, hello. So, mo to synchronized acknowledgement. Ang acknowledgement is now, ni-reply na po hi. So, mao na to siya ang process sa three-way handshake. Ang purpose ra gajud aning three-way handshake is ensures reliable communication by confirming that both sides are ready. So, mao na to ning hi, ani tawag ka, ning hello siya, ning hi na pud ka. So, maka-communicate na mo. Maka-communicate na mo. So here in slide 4, it shows the step 3, the HTTP request message structure. So after the connection, the client sends an HTTP request to the server. So the request contains three main parts. First is the request line. It includes HTTP method, the get, post, and URL, the path. And the second is the headers. It provides additional information, the browser type, the content type, and the cookies. And the third is the body. This is optional. It contains data sent to the server or the mainly in post request. So this message tells the server what resource the client wants. So here's a request line. Kining method nga get is used to retrieve the data, and the post is to sends the data. So matakol ni unya og unsa gadud ang get and post sa next slide. Next slide. Sa the headers, it provides additional information. So additional information lang sadya like mangutana ra sadya kung unsa ang ay mo ang server like sadya mga handle sa behind the scene mo kuha na sadya kung unsa nga browser type like Chrome ba sadya, and then content type like HTML ba sadya or text or JSON file ay JSON. And then the cookies, ang cookies matakol na po na unya pero I'll give you a gamay nga idea about cookies. Ang cookies is data, a small pieces of data. And then the body is optional siya. It contains data sent to the server. So yeah.
So here in slide 5 is the step 4, which is the server processing. So after the client requests a message, the server receives the request and analyzes it. So it may execute application logic like the login verification, and it may query a database to retrieve or store data. So when the server receives the HTTP request, dili na siya automatically nga mo send og response dayon. So iya nang i-analyze and ana pa siya mo decide og unsay buhaton. So example is if ang client submitted a username and password, then the server runs logic to check if sakto ba na siya sa naka-stored na data in the database. So here in slide 6 is the step 5, which is the HTTP response message. So after processing the request message, the server sends back an HTTP response to the client. So it contains status code, response headers, and response body. So in status code, it indicates result. The 200 if okay or walay error ang imong ang process. Then 404 if there's an error or it's either mali ang imong gitype nga URL or deleted ang page. Then 500 if it's internal server error. So sa response headers is it contains metadata about the response. So diri naka-contain tong mga additional information regarding sa response message. Then sa response body is the requested resource. It's either HTML, JSON, or images. So diri naka-store ang mga data nga gi-request sa client. In slide 7, it contains why HTTP is stateless. HTTP is stateless because it does not store information about previous requests. So even if same client lang ang nag-request of message, dili na siya automatically nga ma-recognize sa server since each request is treated as completely independent and the server does not automatically remember user login sessions. So mo na nga every sessions or every request message need of additional mechanisms to track users or to track clients.
So let's continue on slide 8. We have the maintaining state, cookies, and tokens. So cookies are small pieces of data stored in the browser. They are automatically sent with future requests to the same server. Tokens, like for example JWT, are authentication credentials included in request headers. These mechanisms allow website to remember logged in users. So in cookies, like for example, when you log in on Facebook website, the server gives you a small data or the cookies, gives your browser a cookie with your session ID. So with that, kung kato nga user mo log out and then mo in na pud siya makuan siya kanang mailan siya ni server nga amo ni siya nga Mao ni sadya nga user tong ganina na they are automatically sent with future requests to the same server. So ang tokens, it is used for authentication sadya. So slide 10, difference between HTTP and HTTPS. HTTPS stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. HTTPS uses TLS or the Transport Layer Security for encryption. Encryption, it protects sensitive data such as password and credit card numbers. It prevents attackers from intercepting or modifying transmitted data. So, kining HTTP, it is not secured. So, no encryption. Anyone intercepting the traffic can read or modify it. So, the risk for it is if you log in or enter credit card details, attackers could steal that information. So, this is just secure. Pero kining HTTPS, from the word secure, it has a encryption. So the benefit for it, it protects your data or the sensitive data like passwords, banking info, and personal details.
So here in slide 10, it contains common HTTP status codes. So mo ni siya ang giingon ganina nga 200 ang display nga status code if okay or the request was successful. Then 404 if it's not found or the requested resource does not exist. So mo ni siya ang giingon nga it's either wrong ang type nga URL or deleted jud ang page. Then 500 ang display nga status code if ang internal server error. So it means nga the server encountered a problem. So kani nga status code is important because it help clients understand the result of their request. So makatabang ni siya para masabtan sa client if successful ba ilang request or napay need nga usbon. In slide 7, it contains get versus post in the request response cycle. So the get method is used to retrieve data from the server. It usually do not have a body and parameters appear in the URL. Since igo lang man ka mag-retrieve og data or magkuha og data from the server, so no need na ka mogamit og body since ang body is need lang para na kay container nga gusto i-add data information. While the post method is used to send data to the server. So it contains data inside the request body. So diri na nga method magamit og body since para na kay balik container nga kabutngan sa imong data information nga gusto i-send sa server. So this method affects how data is transmitted and processed. So if nindot ang imong paggamit sa get and post method, mas dali ka maka-execute or makakuha og response message sa server.
So we have the last slide, the slide 12, complete HTTP life cycle summary. So summary rani siya sa among report. First is or sa cycle sa HTTP response request. First, user enters URL in the browser. Second is DNS resolves domain to IP addresses. Third, TCP connection established via three-way handshake, and then the client sends HTTP request. Then the fifth one is the server processes the request. Then sixth, server sends HTTP response. And then seven, browser renders web page. And then this entire processes happens in milliseconds. So that's it for our report for today. And then thank you for listening. And I hope this gave you a clear picture of how your browser and server talk to each other every single time you go online. So thank you for watching, and that's it.